from the heartbeat of Africa, welcome to Tanzania, where adventure meets paradise. Join. Visit Tanzania for less for unforgettable safaris through the Serengeti and witness nature's greatest show. Then unwind in Zanzibar. White sands, warm smiles, and rich culture you'll never forget. More than a trip, it's a journey of connection, culture, and purpose. Discover, explore, belong. Visit TanzaniaForLess.com.
Good afternoon. It is 2 p.m. here in Muskegon, here at WVS 103.7 The Beat. And as we do it Fridays at 2 p.m., this is Community Focus. As you know, this program is hosted by my brother, Gregory T. Roberts, and myself. And Gregory T. is still recuperating, so continue to send your thoughts and prayers out to my brother. Let's get started with weather today on this Friday, the 12th of December. There's a 40% chance of snow, which we've already had that. Low 24, high of 32. Tomorrow, Saturday, low of 9. That's right, 9 degrees, high of 26. Sunday, low of 8, high of 22 degrees. On Monday, it'll be a little breezy, low of 21, high of 27. On Tuesday, we warm up just a tad, low of 25, high of 38. On Wednesday, low of 36, high of 40, and next Thursday, there will be a 70% chance of snow, a low of 16, high of 43. So maybe latter part of next week, a little bit of that ice and snow will start to melt. Before we get to our guest today, you all have hopefully gotten used to my 5 list, not top 5, not in particular order, but this week's 5 list. I was having this conversation with my wife. She didn't know my list for today, but how about 5 gifts to not get your spouse for Christmas? And this advice might be for any time. Number 1, unless specifically requested, do not buy appliances. All right. Number 2, don't buy a gift that you bought your ex. Never a good idea. All right. Number 3, don't buy a gift that's actually for yourself. Number 4, don't buy passive aggressive gifts, things like gym memberships. For me, don't buy me hair grow cream. It doesn't work anyway. Hair dye, things like that. And number 5, don't buy any gift. What did I write here? Don't buy any gift that says you don't know your spouse. If it's color they hate, scent they hate, don't do that. And I have a bonus today. If you buy one of those last minute gifts from the aisle at CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, everybody knows, and you're telling on yourself that you didn't plan. All right. So Christmas is 13 days away. Let's get out there. If you're planning to buy gifts, if you're a gift buyer, if you're supposed to be a gift buyer, let's get to it. All right. Now, the real reason you all come to this program on Fridays, I hope, is the amazing guest and information we're able to provide. Today is no different. Will you join me in welcoming to the program today the Chief Executive Officer of Muskegon Family Care, Ms. Kathy Covington. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
good to have you here.
Thanks for the invite.
Now, it's our first time having you on the program.
Yes.
For folks that don't know, first, let's tell them what Muskegon Family Care is, and then tell folks a little bit about yourself.
Muskegon Family Care is a federally qualified community health center,
Hmm.
and so we provide medical services to the community.
Okay.
I am Kathy Covington.
Okay.
I have been uh, in Muskegon all of my life.
Okay.
Born and raised here, and I'm just really honored to be in this role as CEO, to be able to give back to my community.
Okay. Now, how long have you been CEO?
It's been 1 year.
Okay. Okay. So anniversary time, right?
Yes,
Or
yes.
evaluation time, depending
Yes.
on depending on
Yes.
how things go.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about Muskegon Family Care, federally qualified health center. What does that mean? Maybe some people in the community don't know what services you provide.
Yeah, federally qualified health center means that the federal government allows the center to receive federal dollars to
Okay.
run the program,
Hmm.
which is why it's so important and it's vital to the community because it provides access
Okay.
to health care.
Okay.
And so we receive a lot of federal funds.
Okay.
And with that comes federal and state regulations
Okay.
that we have to adhere to.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do we look at that as opposed to, for everybody, those hospitals and doctors? You provide some of those same services, or
Yes, we have providers. So we have MD, DO, and then mid-level
Mhm.
providers. And then we also have dental. So
Okay.
we have 5 dentists currently staffed.
Okay.
We also provide pharmacy services
Okay.
at the center. And then the biggest barrier is transportation. We also offer transportation. So patients is able to call and reserve a spot to be able to be picked up and
Okay.
then taken back to their home for their medical appointments.
So now are your clients, I don't know what's the right term to use.
Patients.
Patients. Okay. Do they have to be from Muskegon County?
They have to be a patient of ours. Yes.
Okay. I mean, they have to come from Muskegon County, or
Yes.
okay. And just rough number, how many do you have there at the center today?
How many patients?
Yeah.
14,000.
14,000.
14,000.
Okay. I think that number might surprise a lot of people.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. We've lost some because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get them back into care.
Okay. So now is the idea is it for uninsured, underinsured people? Can anybody with insurance come there?
Yes, anyone, commercial, but if you don't have money
Hmm.
and don't have any insurance, you still can seek services. We have a sliding fee,
Okay.
and that's part of one of the federal government's regulation is that we offer that. So it goes by your income and your household size, and it
Okay.
determines how much you would pay for a service.
Okay. So you've been CEO for a year now.
Yes.
This is your annual evaluation.
Yes.
What do you feel were your accomplishments during your first year? And that wasn't an aha question. I just,
No.
you get a year, you
Yes.
kind of reflect.
Yes, yes. I think one of the biggest accomplishment is to be able to have a strong leadership team. And so
Okay.
we've been able to build that. And I think,
Yeah.
if you don't have a good team, it's hard to do the work.
Mhm.
And so I would say that would be the biggest
Yeah.
accomplishment.
What's the number of employees? I know you have, I should say, I know, I don't pretend nothing. How many employees do you have there? And then there's other services I think you contract?
155 employees.
Wow. You might be one of the largest employers, or the larger employers in Muskegon Heights.
Okay.
Okay. And 150 employees, that's a lot of people to keep track of.
Yes.
When you say your leadership team, who does that encompass?
So that encompasses obviously the CEO.
Mhm.
Then there's a chief operating officer,
Mhm.
chief financial officer, chief human resource officer, dental director,
Mhm.
behavioral health director, pharmacy director, and then we have a chief medical officer
Okay.
and a medical director.
Okay. And you all are overseen by a board?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We have a board of 12.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So folks on that board, they're appointed, they're elected. How are they?
It's through an application process.
Mhm.
They're usually vetted
Mhm.
or have an interest, and so they
Okay.
apply. And if there's no conflict of interest,
Sure.
then the board will vote to decide to accept an individual to the
Okay.
board.
Yeah. So if it's and then we know we have two of those clinics in our community. What's the mission or no, of Muskegon Family Care?
The mission of Muskegon Family Care is to ensure that individuals in the community have access to health care.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's the same mission that the other federally qualified health
Sure.
center have. And so the community is lacking so many individuals that's willing to come into the clinic to receive care.
Mhm.
And it's so needed. I mean, especially when you're dealing with blood pressure issues, cholesterol issues, that's commonly known for the
Mhm.
Muskegon area.
Mhm.
So it's important that they come and seek care.
Is it I should say frustrating when you're out and about, you're from this community, and we hear conversations. People, you hear people say things like, "I don't have a doctor," or "I got this," but doctor told me this, but I'm not doing that. When you hear those kind of things, when you tell people, come into the center, let's see if we can help you.
Yes.
Is it? Do you find yourself doing that a lot, or?
Yes, more and more and more and more, right? Right. Because you want to, and you want them to feel comfortable. Because
Sure.
if you don't feel comfortable, I mean, that's very personal and close to you. So just trying to get them like comfortable or like relaxed
Mhm.
about it, it's intimidating to come through the door,
Yeah.
which is why I was grateful that we were able to partner with Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to
Mhm.
occupy some space at the Christ Temple Church.
Yes.
It's considered the neighborhood wellness center. So we have
Okay.
staff there 3 days a week. And
Okay.
so in hopes of people in the community, they may not want to come through the doors at Muskegon Family Care,
Okay.
but then they can go there and have some initial screening to get blood pressure check or cholesterol, A1C.
Part of that mission. Again, you kind of touched on some areas, and especially here in West Michigan, um, diabetes, kidney disease, that are really high, especially in the African American community. What part of outreach? What part of that? How much of that do you do, and what are some of the things you do in terms of letting people know, hey, we're here, and there's some issues you ought to make sure you pay attention to in this community.
Well, today is one of those steps, right?
Okay.
But we also utilize WZZM.
Mhm.
We utilize MLive, and then we also have a community coordinator, Kanitha Collins,
Okay.
who also advocates and put on different events to encourage the community to seek our services.
Okay.
And so that's how we get the word out.
Okay. And I think you were very humble in your introduction, but you have a background in public health.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so I spent 37 years at Ottawa County.
Mhm.
I ended my career as assistant director of operation of the Friend of the Court.
Mhm.
And so there I assisted in helping families navigate the court system
Mhm.
and supervising staff that provided support to all of our investigators who were taking cases before the court.
Okay. So you get to a place like Muskegon Family Care. What are some of the misconceptions that you've come across that people have about a center like that?
Misconception.
Mhm.
That's a good question.
Maybe they don't say it to you.
Well, you tell me what the misconceptions. What are the misconceptions? I don't know. What are they?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to put words in people. Well,
Personally, just
personally,
tell me,
I think sometimes people have an assumption that's where poor people go, and they don't want
Oh,
to go there.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
and let me disclose. I've been a patient at a dental clinic for almost 2 decades.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I think sometimes there's the perception that you don't get quality care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anytime we provide a service that's publicly provided,
Mm,
people have this assumption that it's going to be lesser care.
Sure.
I think I'm being fair in saying that there's people have that perception sometimes.
Okay.
No, maybe you don't hear it, but I think it's fair to say that's a perception people have.
Okay. I can
Um,
clear that because
sure.
so when we talk about a federally qualified health center,
Mhm.
we are bound by hiring competent providers, whether
Mhm.
it's competent dentists
Sure.
or providers.
Yeah.
We have to follow the rules. I mean, they cover our liability,
Sure.
right? And so when we interview for those positions, we making sure that we are getting experienced providers
Mhm.
and that they have proper oversight.
Yeah.
And so I can see how people would conceive Muskegon Family Care as for poor people because we
Yeah.
predominantly have Medicaid and Medicare.
Yeah.
But we also have so many patients that have commercial insurance, right?
Yeah.
We have some great providers there, and I think, it's unfortunate that that's a perception, right? Because they
Yeah.
are, and they really have the passion for doing the work. If you're not passionate about it, you're not going to feel comfortable with your provider, right?
Hmm.
And so they really put a lot of effort into trying to be more accommodating, listening more, trying to better understand it, and establish that relationship with the patient to keep them coming back.
Hmm. Yeah. I think, again, still their perception. Again, I hope I didn't offend you with that, but if you're a doctor, you went to medical school, you passed your board. Doctors, you're qualified.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter whether you're going to private or to Muskegon Family Care. Those same requirements are there.
Yes,
And
yes,
so I think
absolutely.
sometimes, again, people maybe
Yeah.
have those misconceptions. And then you point out you got a wide range of uh, patients that come in different insurance areas. So I'll leave that area alone.
No, that's good. I'm glad you shared that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I could clear that up because yes, we have quality providers there. There's even behavioral health therapists. I mean, they have
Hmm.
to follow the same certification as if they were in private practice.
Hmm.
And so a lot of them really want to give back to the community. And so they come there. They know they probably don't earn what they could potentially earn if they were to
Hmm.
go into private practice, but they want to come and give back.
Yeah. Do you all anticipate, a lot of talk about, we know we had the federal shutdown for over a month. Um, going to see increases in folks' health insurance
Yes.
subsidy for a lot of folks. Are there has any affected you all, or any changes you anticipate from some of these federal changes that might happen in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, it was a touch and go for day in and day out. It was
Hmm.
constantly changing. I am concerned about potential cuts with the Medicaid and
Hmm.
Medicare because what's going to happen is that there's going to be so many more additional barriers that individuals will have to jump through to be able to maintain their health coverage, right? And so what we are attempting to do is to be able to have some available staff that's able to help these people either recertify
Hmm.
and or to apply
Yeah.
for
Hmm.
medical because that's a barrier. Because if it's cumbersome, they're just gonna say forget it, and then they're
Yeah.
not gonna seek care. They're not
Hmm.
gonna get regular blood pressure checks. They're not gonna get cholesterol checked. And as we all know, early detection is the best,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
And so if we can help navigate that, and plus we also have community health workers. We have
Hmm.
about four
Okay.
that provide that direct one-on-one, almost like just trying to help them navigate whatever hurdle that they have to be able
Hmm.
to make sure that they get what they need.
Okay, folks, we're on the air today and having a conversation with Kathy Covington, CEO of Muskegon Family Care, located at 2201
2201 South Getty Street.
2201 South Getty in Muskegon Heights.
Yes.
If you aren't aware of the facility, be a good chance to stop by. You get a chance to listen to the CEO today. I've had a number of folks from West Michigan, all kind of fields, come on and talk about healthcare. And again, we like the idea of educating the community. Um, you've been in a position of your. Has there been anything about being in a position that's really surprised you? Like, gee, I didn't really expect this.
No, I can't say I've had any aha moments.
Hmm.
No,
Yeah.
I what I have learned is how many individuals are not seeking services.
Yeah.
I mean, we may have a person who was in the ER come in for a follow-up visit with a primary care provider, but come to find out they haven't had services in 3 years.
Hmm.
That is what it was like. Wow, you would
Yeah.
think that people would keep up on their regular checkup annually,
Hmm.
but that's not happening.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
happening.
It's, it's how is it? Again, we've talked with people from Muskegon Family Care, Hackett Community Care, and again, we get specialists on from Trinity, from all these places, and um, the idea that when there's something wrong, people don't do anything. It's still kind of surprising because everybody that you talk to in the healthcare feels like, let's come in and we'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but again, just that idea of folks like do something. If you think something wrong, do something, show
Yes.
up somewhere.
Yes, yes.
It's disappointing. And again, we've talked about in West Michigan some particular areas of concern.
Which
Uh,
is why I was really happy to
yeah.
be able to partner, to be able to have some presence at
Mhm.
Christ Temple Church,
Yeah.
because it's less intimidating
Hmm.
to be able to walk in and just say,
Yeah.
"Hey, just take my blood pressure," right? And then hopefully you come back tomorrow and say, "Check my blood pressure again." Well, you're establishing a relationship with that person
Yeah.
at Christ Temple, right? It's our
Mhm.
staff, right?
Sure.
And so over time, that maybe they will convince them to walk into the doors of our clinic to
Mhm.
be able to see a primary care
Yeah.
provider.
Probably just finding some creative ways to
Yes,
reach out to people.
yes. Meet
Okay.
people where they're at.
Yeah, that's good, and I hope that's good for you all and good for folks who are
Yes.
looking for care. Now you have another event coming up this week, correct?
Yes, we have an event tomorrow. Muskegon Family Care is hosting a holiday community dinner.
Okay.
That was organized by Kanitha Collins. It is tomorrow. It will be on at 2201 South Getty. It
Hmm.
will be in our wellness center.
Okay.
And I think a lot of folks have already been at our wellness center, so
Okay.
they should come out. It's going to be some good food, some fun. Kanitha always put an extra twist in there to make it fun, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Be some fellowship and more. So please,
Okay.
please, please come out. That's the effort that we want to be able to give back to the community, especially during the
Okay.
holiday
And
season.
that's tomorrow, the 13th.
Tomorrow, December 13th,
And what are the hours?
12 p.m. until 3 p.m.
12 to 3. That is absolutely
Free. Absolutely free.
We can all afford that. Yeah. Aside from the financial challenges with cuts, um, vision for the next year, next couple of years, any particular things on the drawing board on the horizon for you all there?
Yeah, so we've always on the radar to make sure that we try to get out there a little bit more. We need to broaden our focus to be able to make an attempt to get individuals into care.
Yeah.
One of the things that we noticed that we lost a lot of patients during COVID,
Mm.
and so doing some extra outreach in that area to
So
draw in more
have you
patients.
found, I mean, did people go other places or you just stopped going for healthcare?
I believe some went to other places, but there's a large number based on some audit trails that
Hmm.
we've received, some data that we've received back, that they don't seek care at all.
Wow.
Now, we have to drill that down. That's one of those initiatives we're going to do into the new year,
I
is to
see.
drill it down to see, is it because of lack of transportation, or is there other barriers that maybe we are not
Hmm.
focused on or unaware of?
Okay. Is that local or was that a trend in healthcare clinics overall?
I don't know. I guess I could just speak to Muskegon Family Care. I'm
Okay.
not sure if I'm assuming others have.
Yeah. I just want to wonder about that.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
some folks, well, they did it at church too. So
Yeah, yes, I
y'all
can-
come back.
Come back to church. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world changed with COVID. Didn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. So looking to kind of do some analysis and find out where folks are and what's happened to them since then.
Yeah, because our job is to try to figure out how do we get individuals in care,
Hmm.
right?
Mhm.
And so the only way you can do that is to be able to create programming around eliminating some of those barriers, which is why Muskegon Family Care invested in transportation, vehicles for transportation, because that was a barrier.
And I was going to ask you about that. So how does the transportation work?
So they just make a call, 739-9315.
Okay.
Say they want to schedule a pickup for an appointment.
Hmm.
They'll send you over to the appropriate person to schedule that appointment.
Hmm.
We have staff that drives, pick them
Okay.
up,
Okay.
and then they wait around for them and then take them back to their home or wherever they're living.
Okay. And pharmacy, do you have to be a patient at Muskegon Family Care to use the pharmacy there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You have to be
Okay.
a patient at Muskegon Family.
All right. Good. And what are the hours of the pharmacy?
The pharmacy has the same hours, except
Mhm.
on Saturday they are open until noon, 8
Okay.
until noon on
Okay.
Saturday.
Um.
They also have delivery.
Oh. Well, okay.
Pharmacy has delivery.
Now you're
Yes,
talking.
yes, yes.
Is that during those same hours?
Well, it started during COVID,
Oh,
right? And it's like
okay.
people just really value having that, right? And so
Yes,
it has
yes.
increased
Oh,
since then.
okay.
Yeah. So there's some
Yeah.
positive things
Oh,
that
that's
came out of
awesome. Yeah. I
COVID.
wasn't aware, but that'll be, we're not going back. So get what you get delivered. You don't want to stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been a benefit to our patients.
You mentioned it, or maybe it was in my head, mental health side of things.
Behavioral health.
Behavioral health.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
Yes.
Is that area increasing? I know this area a lot of times people are hesitant.
Hmm.
Are we doing a better job of letting people know it's okay to get help in those areas also?
Yeah. So when I was talking earlier about building the team, so we have an excellent behavioral health director.
Hmm.
And she is really, really touching base with all of these community agencies, right?
Hmm.
And identifying where the gaps are and where
Okay.
can we step in to help,
Okay.
even down to youth,
Okay.
a bit to the Boys and Girls Club,
Okay.
Pathfinders, and other agencies. Yes, is rampant. I would say behavioral health, they've really done an excellent job to advocate, to make sure people are aware that they are there.
Okay.
They've even started some youth groups at Muskegon Family Care, and so they're going to be ramping that up. So they really are putting in the effort to advertise to make sure that the community is aware of the services we provide.
Okay. Let's just say a donor walked to you and said, "I got this big check, Kathy. I want to give Muskegon Family Care." And you can not dream big. What are some of the things you'd love to see you all be able to do?
I would like for us to be able to have a mobile unit.
Oh, okay.
You know, when you talk about meeting people where
Yes,
they're
yes,
at, right?
yes.
And so when I think of a mobile unit, you go
Mhm.
out into the community
Okay.
in hopes that they'll come. If you go park in a specific area,
Mhm.
that they'll come, get a
Okay.
blood pressure check. We'll have a provider there, some clinical support there to help
That's
them.
awesome.
Yeah, to take it out to the
Okay.
community.
I
There
love
again, it's less intimidating.
Okay. Well, we put it out in the atmosphere, and you never
Yeah,
know.
you never know.
Somebody sitting there with a
Yeah.
check. Well, people don't have checkbooks anymore. Sitting there thinking, I need
Yeah,
to make
we'll
a
be glad to
donation.
take it.
Yeah. However it comes, right?
I mean, even the providers, I mean, they would be gung-ho, ready to go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Kathy, it's been a pleasure sitting here with you. Anything
Likewise.
concerning Muskegon Family Care that I didn't ask you? I want to make sure we get out there to the public in the time we have here.
No, I just want to make sure that individuals realize, even if you don't have the ability to pay, please come in, seek one of our employees that can help you complete the application for the sliding fee.
Mhm.
And then we also have a Bitsy fund. Employees donate to that
Oh, awesome.
through their payroll deduction.
Okay.
And so, like a doctor could advocate for one of their patients who has severe diabetes and can't afford the medication based on whatever kind of insurance that they have.
Mm-hmm.
They can make a request to the Mitzi Fund, and there's a committee who evaluate each request, and then they may be able to offer the medicine that you can't afford for maybe $5 because the Mitzi Fund kicked in.
Oh, awesome.
So there again, another donor want to give out another check, we could just add to the Mitzi Fund too. Pharmacy uses it all the time because a lot of time people, the cost of prescriptions are crazy expensive, right?
Yeah. It's kind of cool the employees are even really
investing
in what they do.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I love these kind of interviews where we're really giving important information to our community, and they can put a face to the institution. So, folks, it's Muskegon Family Care, 2201 South Getty Street. If you don't know what to do, just say, "Hey, I saw Miss Kathy on the radio, and I need some help, and she told me to show up here."
There you go.
And they will get you to the right place.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your holidays.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be back with our next guest.
Hi, my name is Kevonte Taylor. I'm one of the kids that went on the free trip to Africa, and I'd like to say thank you so much for taking y'all time to pay for the trip. I'm very grateful. I learned a lot. I had a very great experience thanks to y'all, and like I said, I appreciate it so much.
My name is Kamora Stedman. I was one of the students who were chosen for the 2025 Kids Free Trip to Africa. It was such an amazing experience. Thank you to those of you who donated.
Hi, my name is Isis Carter, and I would like to thank everyone who donated for me to be able to go on a kids' free trip to Africa this year.
A special thank you to the kids' free trip to Egypt and Ghana, year class 2025. I really enjoyed my trip going, and we learned so much. I would say it was a very enriching experience because I remember we were on the cruise. Being on the cruise to go on the road trips on the bus, and it was so amazing. I got to sit next to all my friends, and we were on the plane when I went for the first time, and it was kind of scary at first. I have my friend right there. Here's all the people who supported us going on this trip, and a special thank you to you all. We couldn't have done it without you. I really appreciate you guys letting us go on this once in a lifetime opportunity trip. Thank you. Class 2025.
So first of all, I want to start by saying my name is Lawrence Pasquier. I was one of the kids to come on this free trip to Africa. I'm back now, and I want to thank all my donators for this trip, and I wouldn't have done it without y'all, so I'm thankful for y'all donating all the money. $48,000 is a lot. Thankful for all of it. And yeah, I'm back.
Hi, this is Tamaya. One of the kids that was allowed to go to chosen to go to the free kids to Africa trip. I'm just coming on here to say thank you for donating and allowing me to be able to go on this trip. Thank you so much. My experience was amazing.
Hi guys, this is Aja Fletcher. Thank you guys for everybody who donated to us, and I truly appreciate it. I had a good time and I learned a lot of things, and I just appreciate y'all so much, and thank y'all.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Community Focus. I want to bring our next guest up, and I'm going to do my best at getting their names correct. Will you join me and welcome to the program Mark Kurlyandchik and Chris Storch.
You got it.
Good afternoon. How did I do?
Perfect. That was perfect.
Good. Because otherwise, you're going to be Mark and Chris from the rest of the program, so I don't mess it up.
That's totally fine.
Look, thank you guys for joining us so much. So we're here in Muskegon, and we have been seeing these advertisements, Cold Water Kitchen. Tell folks what the Cold Water Kitchen is.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So Cold Water Kitchen is a feature-length documentary film about a Muskegon native, actually. Chef Jimmy Lee Hill, who's a native of Muskegon Heights. He, about 40 years ago, started a culinary program inside a Michigan prison.
Okay.
And I used to be a restaurant critic for the Detroit Free Press.
Okay.
And while I was, I was just kind of doing my restaurant critic thing, I got a letter from somebody at Lakeland Correctional Facility. And it basically said, I'm the sous chef in this culinary program. I think what we're doing is pretty amazing, and you should come check it out. And eventually I did. And when I stepped into that place, I was blown away because we're going into, a level Lakeland level two prison. And meanwhile, I walk into this place and it's smelling good. There's jazz music, playing quietly. Everyone's kind of like, it's like walking into a restaurant that is preparing for a busy service, and everyone's wearing their chef's whites and, and I looked at the menu and it's like, duck confit salad with strawberries and roasted pheasant breast. And I was just like, for a minute, I was just like, where am I right now? Am I inside of a prison? But I'm about to have literally one of the best meals, of that year at that prison. So, after that experience, I immediately started to negotiate access to bring in cameras to do a documentary about this place and this special guy who's been running it for 40 years. And we filmed for a year and a half right before COVID. And then the film had its world premiere in New York at Doc NYC, the largest documentary film festival, in 2022. And here we are 3 years later, and finally bringing it to Chef Hill's home. Yeah,
looking forward to having it here at home. Mark, so your background, you're a food critic at Detroit Free Press, and is this the first documentary you've done?
No, I actually have a background in documentary film. This is my first feature-length documentary, but I've done a number of short films.
Okay.
Mostly around food, but also some. I worked on some Netflix and HBO things as well around justice, and so this is kind of the unique sort of combination of those two worlds.
Okay. And so you have Chris sitting there next to you. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Introduce yourself. Tell folks a little bit about your background and why you're sitting here today.
Well, actually, I was a tutor in Chef Hill's program.
Okay.
I was serving a life sentence. I was a juvenile lifer.
Okay.
And, during the course of time serving the life sentence, I was at Lakeland Correctional Facility.
Okay.
And while there, I had the privilege and the opportunity to meet Chef Hill in his food tech program.
Okay.
I first was working in the institutional kitchen, and there was a guy named Barry Johnson who was working in the kitchen as well. Actually, he was holding a dual assignment, and it was through Barry that I gained my association to Chef Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go over to the food tech program, and I would take guys from the institutional kitchen to the food tech program so that they could take the Serve Safe program and get their food handler certification.
Mm-hmm.
After a period of time, Chef Hill gave me the opportunity to become a tutor. Some of the guys who were there previously, such as Dink and
Ernest.
Mm-hmm. Well, they ended up migrating up out of the program, and so some positions opened up. And Chef Hill offered me the opportunity to take the garde manger position.
Okay.
And so I held that position as well as tutor.
Yeah. So are these positions highly sought after now?
Oh, these positions are pretty exclusive, to be honest with you.
Okay.
We have a classification director in each institution that sets individuals in whatever programming that their RGNC or their reception and guidance and their recommendations deemed necessary for.
Okay.
I had a routine work assignment, but you don't have access to every option as far as routine work assignments are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Something like a food tech tutor, that's at the higher echelon, because to meet certain security needs just in order to get in at the type of position.
I think it's important to add, though, that, the food that is being served, to the general population, the mess hall, and the food that you interact with at food tech, I mean, it's two different worlds, I mean, maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
too.
it's a stark difference. The culture of culinary in the institutions, as far as the institutional kitchen concerned, has evolved based upon the fact that you had a lot of privatized companies coming in.
Okay.
And when privatized companies came in, they began to lower the standard for food production.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's pretty much nil. It's so low to the point where, you just pretty much add water and that's it. In Chef Hill's program, though, you had an opportunity to work with some ingredients and practice on some techniques that you wouldn't normally utilize in those type of kitchens nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to emphasize that, like, the training in Chef Hill's program is like the training that you would get at a prestigious culinary school outside of prison.
Right.
And that's how it sets it up.
Yeah. And so have we, and I don't want to give anything away on people to see the documentary, but have people who previously incarcerated been in the program, have we followed some? Has it helped them in their careers and futures outside of prison?
Yeah, absolutely. And so the film does sort of trace the journey of three of the individuals that came through the program. One of whom is Dink Dawson. And so Dink was able to, get out with a job lined up already at a high-end hotel restaurant downtown Detroit. For one reason or another, that didn't work out, but instead he was able to spin it and open his own restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And now, the Green Mile Grill. And so he got out. Our first day filming with him was October 2018. So we're now past the 7-year mark. Green Mile Grill is still going strong. They've now moved locations. And he's working on a build out. He's actually serving off a food truck right now, off of Gratiot in Detroit, for anyone who's familiar with Detroit. But yeah, and I think the experience in the program and the mentorship that Chef Hill, continues to offer I think has been a game changer for Dink.
Yeah. If we don't want to give away the documentary, we want people to see it, but if you'd say, here are a couple of things I want you to make sure you pay attention to in the documentary, what would you say those couple of those moments are?
Well, I think one of the main issues that we really kind of, this isn't a film that has, first of all, for people who haven't seen it, it's not a film that has like talking heads. It's not people like us sitting there and talking about issues. You're really it's a true like verite documentary where we're just following people in their daily lives.
Yes.
And so it feels much more like a narrative film than a traditional sort of like PBS documentary.
Okay.
But through that natural progression of these characters' journeys, we learn things like this issue of overfamiliarity, which is a rule that the Michigan Department of Corrections has for people who are employed in the institutions and then incarcerated institutions, and then they can't. There's all these rules about how they can interact and how they can interact.
Okay.
And one particular one that really, that came up a lot over and over was with Chef Hill, because so he spends, with somebody like Ernest Davis, he spent 20 years working with this guy because he was in a life sentence. But then the day that he leaves the program, Chef Hill can't actually have any interaction with him until Ernest is completely off of parole.
Okay.
So, the department is sending out folks, and at their most vulnerable moment, when they need their mentor the most, when they're trying to get their lives right and trying to get their lives set up, they can't even call the guy.
Wow.
Because of this overfamiliarity rule.
Oh, wow.
And so that's been a topic that we've brought up over and over, because it is something that we think, and I think we even have seen in the time that this film has been out, the department, being a little bit more, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but being a little bit more, less rigid with those rules so that they can make sure that they're giving people, the support that they need when they need it.
Well, I tell you, if I can interject a little bit,
please.
I look at even the criteria that they have for our communication with individuals who have previous convictions. Now that is a little bit more relaxed, so it seems a little bit kind of contrary that you would be able to communicate with individuals who have a previous criminal conviction, but you can't with someone who has been fostering a program such as the food tech program that Chef Hill is fostering. And so that definitely is a point of concern and interest for me.
Yeah, I think the other topic that comes up a lot is Bradley Leonard, who's also one of the folks that we follow throughout the film. He struggled with a substance abuse disorder, and in prison there's a whole underbelly and a whole world that really makes it even harder for folks who have that type of issue that they're struggling with and working through, and really very little support for somebody like, really Brad should have been in rehab, and instead, our society's answer is to lock him up and punish him when what he really needs is help. And I think that's something that's a through line that you can really extend to, most folks who are incarcerated, right? Just a solution for every social ill that we have, rather than treating the root cause of it. We're just gonna, lock folks up and say, all right, this is what we're doing. And so, I think the film doesn't hit you over the head with these things. These are subtle issues that people, deal with in their daily lives. And I think because of the way that we sort of tracked it, we didn't make an advocacy film, even though it does, even though I think our impact campaign has advocated for certain issues.
Sure.
But that sort of balance has allowed us to play places like Coldwater, Michigan, to a very, I would say, conservative crowd, and have them receive the message. And maybe if we plant the seed of like, of a seed of doubt of like, they thought that this system was one way their whole lives, and then we see these guys' journeys and realize, oh, they're human too.
Yes.
If we can just do that a few times, I feel like, that's we're moving in the right direction.
Gotcha. So what are some of the other places that you've been able to show the documentary?
Oh, everywhere. Yeah, I mean, we've gone from New York to Seattle to to Napa Valley. I mean, really, we've gone to some of the most beautiful places in the country. With this film, and it's been really great to take. We played in Chicago. The film won a James Beard Award the year that it was released. Which, for folks who don't know, that's like the Oscars of food. Like
Okay.
if you're a chef and you win a James Beard Award, it's like you won an Oscar.
Okay.
And they also have a media arm of the James Beard Awards, and the film did win that in 2023. So we've done a few engagements in Chicago. We've played all over the state of Michigan.
Yeah. And what year was it initially released?
It had its world premiere at the end of 2022.
Okay.
And it's been kind of heartening because we've had a much longer festival run and just a kind of a community screening run than most films have. But I think it attests to the power of the film. Honestly, I mean, when people see it, it's hard not to be moved by these stories.
Yeah. So as you screened it in different places, what are some of the I guess typical say what are some of the comments you've had, but have you had people say things as the filmmaker, like, I didn't expect to get that comment?
I mean, yeah, there's so many issues that the film sort of brings up. Let me think of something unexpected. One of the things that Chef Hill talks about a lot is just how he's sometimes treated by maybe other folks in the department or just people who don't understand what he's doing. When he's out, in the checkout line and he's got all this lobster, and folks know him, because he's been in Coldwater for 40 years now. So folks know him and say like, oh, you're going to feed those, those men lobster, those criminals. What are you doing? Why are you wasting your money on them? And it's like, well, what is prison for if not to rehabilitate, right? Like that is the stated purpose. And how can we rehabilitate folks if we're not giving them skills, if we're not bettering them in some way from when they came into prison? If they're coming in and all you're doing is punishing them, then what do you expect to happen when you release them back into society?
Yes.
Chris, I think you can chime in here.
I had an opportunity to see the film, and even having been a part of the production of it, it was surreal for me.
Yes,
because it brought about the humanistic aspects of individuals in prison. Guys that are serving time, they done some things. Those things was horrible, but there's still a human side to that story. And that's not to say that we should try to overly relate to individuals who done committed such crimes.
Sure.
But bringing a humanistic perspective to the story gives us an opportunity to release some of our fears. To begin to work with the issues that need to be worked with, because then we realize that these people do have potential for change. They do have the capacity, to change their ways. For many of us coming in, I was 18 years old. I was very immature. There was still a lot that I had to learn about maturity, a lot of things that I hadn't experienced. I'm out now, and I never had a driver's license, and I just got a driver's license. And so having the opportunity to be around individuals such as Chef Hill gave me almost the license in and of itself, to tap into that humanistic side of it, to experience that there. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No problem.
But,
there's one remarkable thing about Chef Hill too that I really want to stress is it's like, he teaches cooking at a very, very high level, but he is also the father figure, the uncle, the pastor, the role model that a lot of these guys never had growing up. And so his presence in their lives takes on more. But what's remarkable is he doesn't look at any files of any guys that come to his program. He doesn't know what they did. He doesn't care what they did.
Okay.
He always says, when the judge hit the gavel, that was your punishment. When you're in here, as long as you're about the business of food, you're good. You know what I mean? And there's another line from the film that I just love. And he says, if you treat them like animals, they'll act like animals. If you treat them like human beings, they will act like human beings. And that sort of like that perception shift of like, okay, these are human beings here that are spending their lives behind bars. Like maybe we could, if we treat them a little more like human beings, we'll have better outcomes.
But it also sheds light onto the personality of a lot of staff members within the Department of Corrections. Chef Hill is not the only person who has that compassion, who has their approach of seeing individuals from an individual standpoint and a humanistic standpoint. And so you do have individuals within the Department of Corrections that do have a heart towards compassion, and they will treat you like a human being, So it does highlight that those type of approaches actually are beneficial in work, and there's more that needs to be done. So Bill just has created a program that fostered an environment where individuals could come in and they could be their best self, the best version of who they could be within prison, because you can't fully be, your best version while you're in there. But for the 8 hours or the 4 hours that you're up in that program, it's really on you.
Leads me to a question. Have you ever been able to screen this film with incarcerated persons?
So we have not had the we've been talking with the MDOC for a while, but I just remembered it actually screened there was a film festival in San Quentin, at the famous San Quentin Penitentiary in California, and it screened there in October.
Okay.
We were not able to attend. That was specifically for the incarcerated individuals. But we were sort of given feedback that it went over very well. It was one of the top 3 features, I guess, out of 60 films. So we are still negotiating, navigating, trying to get the Department of Corrections to screen it. And we've gotten some positive feedback. It's just, we haven't actually done it yet. And I think that may be intentional. I don't want to cast aspersions here. I don't know, but we do hope to screen it at Coldwater, though, at Lakeland Correctional Facility.
So after the screening, do you have an opportunity to engage with the audience and answer questions and that kind of thing?
Absolutely. Yeah. Tonight. So we have the screening tonight at I hope I'm not mispronouncing this, but the Frauenthal Center.
Yes, Frauenthal. Yep.
Frauenthal Center at 7 p.m. Coldwater Kitchen. It's $9. There's still some tickets available, and afterwards there will be a panel featuring me, Chris, Dink, Dawson, Ernest Davis, and Chef Hill himself. And considering Chef is from Muskegon, I think we're going to have a lot of Chef Hill's sort of friends and family in the audience, and a homecoming.
Yeah, that'd be nice. He's a little older than me. Grew up here in Muskegon Heights, so I know him by his nickname around town. What has all this notoriety been like for him? I mean, from how he, his heart and intent of starting this to now, and a little bit little notoriety comes with this.
Well, Chef is the most humble guy you will ever meet. And if you know chefs like I do, that just is that's the opposite of most chefs, right?
Not a common trait, huh?
This man has no ego. I think part of the thing is like he is so guided by his faith and his Christianity and his soul, that it all just feels like divine timing. Because he is still very quiet and soft-spoken and humble, but seeing him in places where he's signing autographs of his picture. I mean, I feel good because, he's been doing this work for 40 years without asking for, it's his day job. You know what I mean? He hasn't asked for any of this.
Yes.
But it's a testament to show you that, like, when you believe in people and you do good work, that, you will be rewarded. And so I'm just happy that this film has been able, I mean, he was already a celebrated member of the community, but the film has really given him his flowers in a way that is, while he's still here and still active. And hopefully he can become, a role model or a figure for the type of person that the department will hire, to replace him and beyond.
I had an opportunity to ask Chef what he thought about that, the notoriety and everything. Because I said to him, when you started this program off, there wasn't no cameras in prison. There wasn't no one there to applaud you. You simply did this out of sincere interest for seeing individuals gain some skills that was going to help them in later days. And if Chef's words would be, I don't know what I did to deserve this.
I don't know how I got here. That's what he always says. I don't know how I got here.
That's something. Yeah.
Right.
Well, hopefully, again, even as you all talk about it, you say he touches on it wasn't necessarily a film about prison reform or how we treat people incarcerated, but you can't not discuss these issues and imagine the impacts and the influence you hope it has on people. And one of the reasons I asked that question about if it's been screened for incarcerated persons, but I imagine when if you're in a cold water, if that facility, about it and you heard about it.
Yeah.
So that maybe there, and Christian is people like, I don't know if aspire to is the right word, but just like that and other programs, it's something to get yourself together to shoot for.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that it's like, if we screen it for it's definitely more to change the minds of the people that are outside of the fence, right?
I got you. Sure.
Not to say that, but like, yeah, it's like if people that are at Coldwater see it, they'll say, oh yeah, I know about this program. I know about this program, and I live this every day.
Yeah.
It's the people that hold the purse strings and the power that we're really hoping to push and influence with this film, and see the folks that are behind those fences in a different light.
Okay.
It's unfortunate. You do have a lot of people out in society that really don't want to see individuals from their perspective, from a prison perspective, being highlighted as someone that can have the potential or capacity to be something better than the criminals that they were convicted as. And I think that's rooted a lot in hurt, a lot in pain that they may have suffered or family members may have suffered.
Yes.
But the stark reality is that everyone has their potential, everyone has that capacity. Just what are we going to do in order to cultivate it?
Yeah. I mean, the American carceral system touches 1 in 3 Americans. We are, to an extent, we are all affected by it. We all pay taxes into this system.
Sure.
And we all support it through that way. So, I think the film, the power of the film is that it uses food, this thing that we all do, that we all like to see and eat, as this kind of Trojan horse to talk about deeper, more important issues, and hopefully change some hearts and minds in the process.
So after Muskegon Florenthal Theater, where are you going next?
That's a good question. We're actually working on a big symposium in the spring in Detroit. That'll be, probably it'll be bigger than just a film screening. We're going to convene, all these different people from around the country who work at the intersection of food and justice. And you'd be surprised by how many there are. I mean, there's quite a few. Food has this incredible power to change lives. And so that's really the next big, I'm sure we'll have other screening. We do a lot of community screenings. We'll have other screenings between now and then, but that's the next big sort of tent pole for the campaign, for the film that we're working on.
Mark, Chris, we got about a minute left. Anything I would ask you guys, you want to make sure that we get out and say, one, to encourage people to come see the film, and two, just in general about this whole experience you've had with Coldwater Kitchen?
I'll let you go first.
And I think seeing this film will help individuals to see a more realistic side of what individuals in prison experience. There was no punches that was held. Everything that was filmed was exactly how it occurred. You saw the good and you saw the bad. And just approaching it from that realistic and genuine standpoint gives you a more calmness, I think, in yourself about what to expect from individuals in prison.
Well, and I will say, this is, if you're in Muskegon, this may be one of your only opportunities to see the film. So because it's not distributed yet. We're working with PBS, but that's been a long time coming. And so maybe your only chance to see the film tonight. So come out to the Florenthal Center. That's what we want to do, is get people there.
All right. And I don't know how much you guys know about Muskegon Heights, but maybe Chef Hill mentions where he's from every once in a while, but the community is very proud of him. And, we just, I'm hoping that people come out and support him. support the film and the message, you know, that's in there, and one of our native sons being highlighted. Yeah. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. Mark, for however you got motivated to do this and how this story drew you to want to put it on film. I thank you.
No, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for highlighting
Chris. So glad to have you on the program. You know, we probably do another hour on your story, but the finished product or the product that's being developed here, I'm glad to have the opportunity to meet you, and I wish you continued success. All right.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here.
All right. You all take care. Enjoy your holidays, and hopefully, folks, we'll see you tonight.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Take care.
All right, folks. This has been Community Focus. Man, I love doing this program. Days like today, we talk about health in our community. We get to hear one of our native sons and just this amazing work he's doing at Coldwater Kitchen and how it's affecting people. And we get to go inside and maybe see and learn some things we don't know, or maybe we think we know. So I'm always honored that the folks here at 103.7 allow me to be part of this family, that I get to interview people and present information to my community. I hope that you all are as blessed by this as I am. We're in the holiday season. Listen, even though it's 13 days till Christmas, every day is a good day to go out and do some good. Be a blessing to other people. My brother Gregory T, get well. Thanks to all the folks here at 103.7 The Beat that make me look good and sound halfway decent. You guys be blessed. We'll see you next Friday.
The wait is over. The all-new Umoja Radio Network, home to over 40 Black-owned radio stations and podcasts, is here for you. Connect to the world's fastest-growing collection of unapologetically Black and proud media, from podcasts to independent Black-owned radio stations, and access to the important news and music you need. Umoja Radio is from our culture, by our culture, for our culture. The all-new Umoja Radio is available right now on Google Play and the Apple Store. Join the movement. Be empowered.